Yes, yes. Welcome to the Lyricists Watch Hour. My name is Paul Reeves. I am Lyricists Watch. Be forewarned, for Lyricists Watch is not fooling around. This is a new season of the Lyricists Watch Hour. We're going to be examining in depth the lyrics of albums from the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia area. Especially, most of our content is going to be coming from the Drastic Measures label, Drama City label, and we do have at least one record from another label. However, if you're new to the Lyricist Watch Hour, if you're new to the Cruddy Radio, the Lyricist Watch Hour, we take albums as totalities, and we examine the lyrics of albums as if they were books. So tonight, we're examining the album by the artist Lady Moet Beast and her recent release, It's Okay to Say Beast. Now, an important part of lyrics, and something we're very concerned with here on the Lyricist Watch Hour, is titles of songs, titles of albums. So the first question I want to raise is, what does the title of this album mean? What does It's Okay to Say Beast mean? Now, hopefully this will become apparent as we listen to the album. And, along those lines, what does the artist's name mean? Lady Moet Beast. Well, she does make that clear, very clear, what her artist name means to her. So we're going to listen for that as well. Now, if you've happened to catch the episode of the Lyricist Watch Hour on Kendrick Lamar's album To Pimp a Butterfly, or the album on Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette, you might remember that when albums have lyrics on that level, the highest level, I am very, very critical of those lyrics. And as I explained, it's only because these lyrics are so literarily ambitious. And I did not just say literally just now, I said literarily, like literature. It's only because these albums are on such a high level that it is even possible to criticize them as if they were high literature. So are you thinking hard enough to listen to this podcast? I hope so. So let's talk about my credentials for a minute. In 2016, I completed a master's degree for literature in the English language. I studied T.S. Eliot, I studied James Joyce, I studied Derek Walcott. All three have Nobel Prizes. I studied Salman Rushdie. I predict he will have a Nobel Prize within the next 10 years. I got straight A's in all my Shakespeare classes, and I had a whole season of the Lyricist Watch Hour dissecting Bob Dylan. He's got a Nobel Prize for literature now, too. Bob Dylan is one of the very, very few musicians whose lyrics come remotely close to that level of high literature. I would put Lauryn Hill in that category. Hey, straight talk right now. If Lauryn Hill would put out 2 more albums the same quality as Miseducation, she would win the Nobel Prize. Like that James Joyce character, he only wrote 4 books. Miseducation is better than 2 of those. But let's get back to Lady Moet Beast. This is her first solo album. Despite decades of performance and making music, this is her first solo album. And so the themes and contents of the lyrics on this album are pretty much entirely opposite to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Beast is not rapping or singing about Lauryn Hill's ideas of love. And I should say Hill's understanding of the corporate ways that we are programmed to love, because that's what her album is really about. Beast's album is about the revolution, about identity, personal identity, female identity, melanated identity, indigenous identity, and do not forget, identity of living in the hood. So these themes are much more in line with Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. But Lamar's work, in my analysis, is overrun with cliches. He ultimately has not that much more to say that has not been said before. He says all of that with a great degree of artistry, but he says a couple things that haven't been said before, but He does say everything with a great degree of artistry, which Moet has too. Beast has too. Beast has exactly one cliche by my count in the entire album. And it's not really that deep a cliche at all. And even if it is a cliche, it's a badass, revolutionary cliche. So, however, much, much, much more importantly, Beast does not merely reiterate that cliche. She takes this cliche and twists it in a new, interesting direction. She makes it her own. So as T.S. Eliot says, talent borrows, genius steals. Does that make sense? Talent will make someone who's talented will make a cultural reference, whereas someone with genius will steal that cultural reference and make it their own. So here's some advice to all you lyricists and writers who might be out there listening. Oh, someone's calling into the Lyricists Watch Hour. Here's my advice. Don't simply make a cultural reference to another artist's work. You gotta steal it. You gotta twist it, make it your own. You gotta own it. So, all of this discussion definitely begs the question, is Lady Moet Beast's first solo work, It's Okay to Say Beast, on the same level as Hill's first solo album? And what about Dylan? Both of those albums are better than Bob Dylan's first original release, easily. He didn't hit his highest artistic levels until his third album of originals. But, I'm not going to answer that question I just asked. Because the Nobel Prize for Literature is awarded for an artist's entire career, not a single work. So all that I'm going to do right now is mention Lady Moet Beast's name in the same breath as Bob Dylan, Lauryn Hill, T.S. Eliot, Derek Walcott, James Joyce, and the Nobel Prize. So all that is why I'm going to be hyper critical of this album. So let's see. Yeah, that's a solid 10 minutes of introduction. So let's get right into the music. Let's start up this beast of the album. The first song is called Netami.
Well, all I really got to say is if you're here, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I'd like to introduce to you all the best ever of storytelling. And it's okay to say beast.
So, as I will develop as we listen to this album, one of the primary themes of It's Okay to Say Beast is developing the personal identity of Moet Beast as a melanated woman and an indigenous North American. So why does she need to be introduced by a male voice? Why doesn't she have the first word on the album? Or since she feels the need to be introduced, why not another female voice? Could this be a criticism of the patriarchal systems that have been oppressing all women since we crawled out of the sea? Because it definitely comes off as a concession to those patriarchal systems. At any rate, let's see what Moet Beast has to say. What's her first word on the album?
None of me, up with up. Got me one in, up in oot. Papi Wati, one in Mamua, not good. Papi Wati, none of what time. One need to
Oh, you mean? Can you see when we are talking about the beast? We're not talking about the mark of the beast. We're talking about the art of the beast.
That's pretty cool. Not the mark of the beast, but the art of the beast.
So time to feel the rock of the beast from southeast. Now talk about the queen, a diva, but still a the beast. All on the fake MCs wanna go sit on one blood clot side car right now. A fear time. The realest thing where I come out of Southeast DC, you know? Beast, make them know. Oh, damn. True.
So here's something kind of super interesting. I actually Google searched the word Netami on the internet, and it's not there. The first two options when you search Netami are both this song. There are exactly two others on the entirety of Google. So then I Wikipedia'd it. I searched on Wikipedia, and Netami does show up on a list of goddesses page. So that's how I'm interpreting the title of that song. Up next, there's the first music video of the album, Lady Mo. So let's check it out.
Yeah, they call me Lady Mo. LADYMOE. That's me. Yeah.
Right, so in even the first 30 seconds, this song becomes about her name. Beast takes the name Lady Mo for this song. And in several other songs, she'll discuss other elements of her name. So it's clearly about her personal identity, this song. So let's see where it takes us.
My name was framed on the front of a bottle. It was 8/19. 75 was the year of my arrival. Said I look Chinese. Slanted eyes, copper tone was my skin. These thick black curls, always mistaken for a dog, cause I was gorgeous. Said the whole wide world. My mama put me in these cute little dresses, and they took notice. And she got offers for my cheeks and catalogs, so they took portraits. So early on, my destiny was decided. I did fashion shows, and when they found out that this girl, she did have talent, well, I just stole the show. Acted in plays, sang many songs and poetry by six, a triple threat that would develop through the years with plenty practice. But I ain't done yet. When I was 10, my granny's mirror was my practice spot to share my tea with pretty songs and thank you speeches shared with all of my peers. My junior high, my music hunger was seduced by lovely gold brass winds. The Trouble Clef and I were gladly introduced. We became good friends. Around this time, I also met another man. Well, let's just call him Ken. When put to paper, he and I told many stories. We're the perfect blend. Let the words in my head tune up my heart as I produce this soul. And I'm gonna keep it gutter to the masses. Let them feel it till my spirit it goes. And even then, I hope to linger on the tip of every time. Mark my word. That generations yet to come will like my stories as they flock like birds.
Okay, well that's something very interesting. Until this point, this has been a story about Lady Mo as a beast, and now suddenly we're plunged into the future with future generations will flock like birds to still be interested in her stories.
As for the present, I'm going to try to keep it honest, cause I know my worth. Just as priceless as this planet is, well, so was my birth.
That's pretty self-aggrandizing. She's putting her own birth on the same level as the birth of the entire planet. But, you know, if one is to read this whole album as the voice of a woman, the voice of a melanated woman at that, the voice of a melanated woman claiming indigenous status at that, then the whole thing becomes about reclaiming power and re-enfranchising herself and people like her. So maybe that's a good thing.
As for my purpose, I was blessed to be a speaker, here to find the law and bring them closer to a state of understanding strife. So said my boss, I am LA. That's me, Lady Moet in the flesh. LLLLLADYMOE.
Yeah, that's ever so slightly self-obsessed when she's going me. But we should move right into the next song, Savage, which is more than about personal identity. It's about a community identity. Let's check it out. Savage. It's off the album It's Okay to Say Beast by Lady Moet Beast. You are tuned into the Lyricists Watch Hour.
Pouring out the bottle for all my savages. We weren't born this way. Peace pipes down, feathers up. Tell me what was in the cup, cause you don't know what's up. Tell me who can you trust? Is it them, is it us? When the move, when the bus, what it do, what's the fuss? Now you seem lost in familiar places. Forgot your name and where your space is. The only way to break these bars, you need to remember who you are, my savage.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty righteous. The lyric goes, you seem lost in familiar places, forgot your name and where your space is. The only way to break these bars is to remember who you are. So, but she's clearly claiming indigenous status with Peace Pipes Up, that lyric, and we haven't even got to the verse yet.
Once upon the shores of the eastern seaboard, from the edge of bottom to the tip of top, there were these people called the savages, deemed tribes of the primitive arts, dark-complected in spectrums from the deepest indigo to the lightest bright sea, with variations of different hair, dialect, and customs in between. The savages did not play, nor did they bother with worldly things that had no purpose, for there was no need to overindulge, because all of the land was in an abundance of surplus. For it was the soil that had brought forth the production of these people, on which a birthright was established by nature's law, which was the right to be, with no strings attached, other than the lifeline between mother and
Peace
seed.
pipes down, feathers up. Tell me what was in the cup, cause you don't know what's up. Tell me who can you trust? Is it them, is it us? When the move, when the bus, what it do, what's the fuss? Now you seem lost in familiar places. Forgot your name and where your space is. The only way to break these bars, you need to remember who you are, my savage.
Protons, neutrons, electrons, breathe in the melanin that dwells within this elemental vein. Let's proceed with the science. Add the 2 times 3. Do it 2 more times. Get the makeup of the beast that they fear. Beat the force of this matriarchal bread back to lead the savages that all have been deceived. Looking for their tribe, but their gaze is overseas. Believing all their lies that we died off from disease. Disregard and prove that lay right under their feet. Speaking foreign tongue, we the people of the trees. Walking on a turtle beach. being called refugees. Whole damn time we the one to hold the keys. People please catch the vibe while you nodding to the beat. Radiate like the sun while the mother brings relief. Diagnosed never to be, refuse to claim defeat. Record on repeat, still we fight on to be free.
Peace pipes down, feathers up. Tell me what was in the cup, cause you don't know what's up. Tell me who can you trust? Is it them, is it us? When the moon, when the bus, what it do, what's the fuss? Now you seem lost in familiar places. Forgot your name and where your space is. The only way to break these bars, you need to remember who you are, my savage.
Wow, yeah, that was a pretty densely packed second verse there. References to Turtle Island and holding the keys. However, it is almost time for a commercial break on the Lyricists Watch Hour. And we're only through 3 songs of the 19 on this hour and 15-minute album. So I'm going to strongly encourage you to check out that song Savage A's and dissect it yourself. And we're going to move on to the next song. This one really speaks for itself. There's really nothing that needs to be said about it. It says all it needs to say by itself. The track is called The Revolution Will Be Digitized.
Drastic Measures Records, Beast and Monster Inc., WVCR. We do Cruddy right. We do choose to rise up. Don't doubt yourself. You won't have to stay home, sisters and brothers. The television won't need to be plugged in, set to record or put on demand or TiVo. The revolution will not be televised. It will be digitized. The revolution will be digitized. With the assassination of analog, the world has been caught up in a wireless web and broadcasted in HD, 1080p, and 5K. You won't need a hanger in the back of your TV for this. You will not be able to Netflix and chill, Hulu with your boo, or sip wine while watching Prime, because the revolution will be digitized. The revolution will be digitized. The revolution will be sponsored and popped by Apple, Google, and Windows, smartphones, smartwatches, pads, drones, and tablets. The revolution will not share clips of world star hip-hop, 16 and pregnant, The Maury Show, nor the Real Housewives of any city. The revolution will be digitized through YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook Live. The revolution will not be led by your corny mainstream rappers, TV activists, or mega pastors with dollar signs in their name, talking about paying for paradise for the hereafter. It will not consist of marching with chanting ministers, Sharpton, or Jackson. The revolution will be digitized, but it won't care if you get shares, tweets, reposts, or emojis, baby. The revolution will not sell you bundles of exotic hair, skin brightness, jock pills, butt pads, or Botox, B12 shots, a gastric bypass, or silicone, cyborg skins and stock. The revolution will not give you farm-raised seafood, as there are no farms in the sea. Blue steaks, or any other genetically modified organisms that make it last forever, brighten the color, or the advent of sweetness to make it taste better.
We interrupt your live stream for this important announcement about the revolution.
The revolution will not be litty, wet, turned up, or burnt out. The revolution will be digitized, camera phones. The revolution will not care if you sag your pants, wear a dress, or the designer of your clothes, just as long as you can defend your brothers and sisters. The revolution will not permit you to be in a trap, line up for the newest pairs of Jordans, or make camp the night before on a cold winter's night before a Black Friday special, where you were once the sale, but now they sell to you at a marked up retail. The revolution will be on closed circuit, localized and globalized on LED monitors hanging from skyscrapers and bus stops with captions under reading lines. There will be no talks of justice, no rallies or songs sang by Aretha Franklin. There will be no Broadway musicals starring Bette Midler, Liza Minnelli, or Tyler Perry, because the final act has come and gone, and the revolution will be digitized. The revolution will be digitized in full color palm size. There will be no phone calls to constables about brothers and sisters cookouts and pops, selling bottled water, single Newports, carrying while registered or walking while Aborigine. There will be no slain brothers and sisters, tarnished by the news of their past crimes that had nothing to do with them dying. The revolution will be digitized. The revolution will not stand for a flag or a song that depicts them as losers in a battle, the spoils of war, or contraband, new classifications every 50 years, or foreigners on our own homeland. The revolution will not be held on for a rain date, postponed or rescheduled. Brother Gil Scott has it right. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be digitized. And it begins now.
Damn, the next song better be pretty fucking revolutionary. Yes. Welcome back to Lyricists Watch Hour. My name is Paul Nareeves. I am Lyricists Watch. If you're just joining us, we're examining the album It's Okay to Say Beast by Lady Moet Beast. We've been picking up on some themes of personal identity and indigenous identity. But what about the identity of living in the hood? This next song speaks to that. It's another one of the songs that refers to her name. The Beast from Southeast is the name of the song. Now, this last track on the album, The Revolution Will Be Digitized, it ends by saying the revolution will be digitized, and it begins now. So let's see how this revolution begins. The track is The Beast from Southeast.
It's the beast from Southeast with a soul won't please. It's the beast from Southeast with a soul.
1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that's right. We're from the first lady to Southeast, gutter to Lady Moet Beast. The beast from Southeast, the gutter godmother of DC rap. They got two bandits, the wicked bitch from the east, Southeast that is. Hold the Max Swamp Beast, bitch. Y'all don't know nothing about this. I don't even think they ready, huh? Y'all ain't coming quick. Where your shit at? I got my shit right here. We gon' walk out. We gon' club rock. We gon' eat all that good old gutter. The crust has the classic. From the beat from South Beach. Well, I'm about to spit real shit. I got to make you feel it, cause I'm that motherfucker coming straight out of the district. Yeah, I'ma treat you just like you was a visitor. Coming from the city of Dodge, my lines are getting busier and busier. Never will I stumble, but I'll step on your face. And I've always got to show my body in the place. And I won't be the one to know what's as a grudge. Cause when I'm beefing, the victim will wind up covered in blood. I'll hit the dub until it draws down to a nub. We'll call it a roach and put it out because my fingers are starting to burn. And I think I'm turning to cap one, trap one. Who will be my next victim? I got to get them, stick with them. Pretend to be their best fucking friend, and then I gotta hit them. Then turn the corner, now take you to the least. It's time I'm talking seats, cause I'm the beast from Southeast. The foul mouth, what? Well, I'ma say it again. It's the what? It's the beast from Southeast with the. Well, it's the beast from Southeast with the foul mouth beast. Y'all ain't even ready for that. Let's go one more time again, y'all. Never will I worry, never will I grieve, cause I know a motherfucker always got something up his damn sleeve. That's why I got
on my back. I never walk alone because my pockets are always packed. Whipping out lace blue, love knives and big machetes. Depending on the job, you know my weapon is always ready to step up and then step back. Cause on your face you will be flat. That'll scoop you up and put you out and say you die from a Moet attack. Too old to go hard, but too young to stay fucking stiff. I'm not a roller, I'm that motherfucker on the ego trip. Tiny Mike, shorty hype, yeah that's right. Always boosting for a fight, making jokers see the light, see the light. Small one, the pack and thunder, leaking. If it's drama you be seeking, well my language you be speaking. I thought I told you, I'm yelling it to the streets. It's how I'm talking seats, cause I'm the beast in Southeast. No hesitation, it's needed cause the beast is tame. Don't underestimate, Moet is what the beast is named. Do not disturb the sleeping beauty that's inside. Cause when the waking, there's nowhere for your ass to hide. Oh please do listen, I'm giving you the straight up facts. Cardiac arrest ain't got shit on the Moet attack. Way too much damage is what the city will be found. Left to the beast within this hold up state is gagged down. Run to your churches and find yourself some type of God. Cause when you meet the beast, you'll find out that this chick is odd. Now you got this to guard your targets with no tactics. Think you can test me up your bars and stop rapping. Let you proceed and then I finish with my action. And when it's over, ask your folks what just happened. They should've told you you be made to miss me. I'm bringing all heat, cause I'm the beast in Southeast.
What is the? Well, I'm the beast from Southeast. What is the beast from Southeast? The beast from Southeast. What is the? Who? Yeah. Well, motherfuck you over everything, you're under it, bitch. Cause I'm that mother over everything, you're under it, bitch. Well, motherfuck you over everything, you're under it, bitch. Cause I'm that mother over everything, you're under it, bitch.
Yeah, damn, that song was pretty hardcore. Lines like, my pockets are always packed. But there is some social commentary. I gotta show my body when I come in the place. You know, that speaks to being a woman. And then at the end you have this sort of, she repeats the words mother over everything. So what's that mean? Well, it's an anagram. It spells out Moet, which is the artist's name. And so this is, as I mentioned just before, it's a song which references her name, the Beast from Southeast. And how does that speak to the title of the whole album, which is It's Okay to Say Beast? If Moet is the Beast from Southeast, there's going to be another track later on called I Am Beast, and then one more song which references her name a little more indirectly. It's Okay to Say Beast becomes kind of a reclaiming of the word beast, sort of like the N-word being reclaimed, sort of like the B-word being reclaimed, sort of like what I call the F-squared word being reclaimed. Beast. It's okay to say beast. It means I am a beast, I'm proud to be a beast, and you can call me beast, all in the words of Lady Moet Beast. You are tuned into the Lyricists Watch Hour. You can catch us every Monday and Sunday at 7 p.m. The next song is called Issues off Lady Moet Beast's album It's Okay to Say Beast.
got bruises that will never heal. Left with a broken heart that will never mend. Dark circles, black and blue. Never thought I'd be losing you, but this love affair has to come to an end. I don't know what I did to make you angry, so angry for too long. This time I must have sunk, had this pain in me, this pain in me. See, you got issues with yourself, you ain't love nobody else.
So that's what this song is developing into. Is it's a critique. It's a social critique. Really, the first one on this album. She's addressing a broader audience and saying, you know, when you have issues with yourself, you can't love anyone else. So let's get back to it.
I was blind, but now I see what you do to me. We gon' stop this madness, yeah. We gon' stop this madness. See, I've got pictures knocking on my door, and I know who they looking for. I know who they looking for. And soon as they start to acting rude, we're gonna hit the floor. So don't you come back no more. You got condoms in your pockets, and you say they come from friends. See, I heard it through the grapevine, burning oven. Don't blame me for no fool, 'cause this love is on a thin line. And don't forget the golden rule, a bitch will be on get back time. You got issues with yourself, she can't love nobody else. I was blind, but now I see what you do to me. We gon' stop this madness, yeah. We gon' stop this madness. How can you gripe about the groceries you don't even have to buy? See, the only thing that worries you is if your clothes are looking fly. Every New Year you find a reason why you say you have to go. Before you pack your final bag, I think there's one thing you should know. You've got issues with yourself, 'cause you can't love nobody else. I was blind, but now I see what you do to me. We gon' stop this madness. Stop this madness. See, you got issues with yourself, but you can't nobody else. No, I was blind, but now I see what you do to me. Hey, you got issues, yeah. You can't love nobody else because you don't love yourself. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. So that sounds fairly self-explanatory. You can't love nobody else because you got issues with yourself. And you know, it does introduce this theme of social critique, which is really the dominating the rest of the album is social critique. There are only very few songs that stray from this theme for the rest of the album. But the next one is pretty heavy-handed with this theme. It's called The Little White Sin, and it's about a little white Cynthia. Let's take a listen.
The little white sin, the little white sin, who clogs for fellows, looks for dudes in their college days. Hear a thoughtish call. Give me your money, your money, your money. Give me all of your money, your money, your money. Get down with the swirl, you're all alone. Who gon' know if you smash that white girl? FaceTime your girl back home. You talking once a week. You telling her it's sweet. Can't wait to meet. Then she sees the pale shadow, perky bouncing across the floor. Tell her,
Say goodbye, babe, you've leveled up. Close the door.
you deny your girlfriend cries. Tears balling out her eyes as she tries to hide all the rage that's inside. You tell her she's a friend.
Boy, bye, that's the end.
Put her knockers on the screen and says,
He's property of
little
sin.
white sin,
The little white sin who clogs for fellows, looks for dudes in the NBA.
Here I thought it's cold. Give me your money, your money, your money. Give me all of your money, your money, your money. The little white graduated college, #1 draft pick, and every wild white chick wants to flick yo big. She don't want the runner up, looking for that slam dunk. Sweet sucker on his way, gullible enough to pluck. See you winning, high scoring, triple double MVP with your bobblehead beside you, standing like a trophy. Your girl back home sees it on the TV, gets clowned around town like that shit is funny. Hands down, you the man, and your stats hold true. You the meanest point guard when it comes to these hoops. Look at Cindy, all smiles, cause you don't have a clue that when you ain't at home game, she be smashing your crew. And they ain't telling you nothing, cause you want a wife or dude. Yeah, you winning, you're the best. Dollar sign up on your chest. You feel lucky, thinking blessed. Whole time, don't feel stressed. Purchase ring and wedding dress. Whole time, sin is yelling.
The little white
sin, the little white sin who clocks for fellow souls. Her dude then takes his money. Hear the gavel fall. She got your money, your money, your money. She got all of your money, your money, your money. The little white sad team is losing and you're prone to injuries. And the coach makes the decision and you're playing overseas. Since she doesn't love you and she wants half of your cheese. Cause support is what she gave, now feels neglect and wanna leave. Said she's frightened cause you're strong and you might do her some harm. And your honor soaks it all up cause this bobblehead has charm. Said you yell when you get angry, punching holes all through your walls. Paranoid cause you hear voices of strange men up in your house. You get mad when she spend money, but her lifestyle is unique. And you only gave her 20,000 spent like every week. Get your tissues, TV, camera, film this whole debauchery. They won't even let you speak. You're a monster, take your seat. Trophies, medals, honors melted, and your ego smells defeat. But you thought you had it sweet, and your life was now complete. Now your wallet says deplete, endorsements obsolete. Poor Cindy beats her feet while you get trashed in magazines. The white sin.
on my way to the top, full steam, waving by as I dodge all the non-believers. I'm eager, and so I set my targets high. Every day won't stop till I reach that spot. I don't bother the leader. I'm eager, I'm an overachiever.
Couple children through the years, paid dues, broke rules, stood ground, still here. And your heroes dried up, one hit and gave up. All praise nowadays, all your heroes old up. So I hear we're all lost, no directions, no path. How about I paint a pretty picture and expose my cruddy plans? When I'm going to the top, who gon' stop me? Not no art, not no friend of me, no kin to me, not even if you chop. Think my struggle gave me heart and made me strong enough to last. Watch so many burn and crash, living landing on their ass. I was placed upon the gutter, trying to gut a godmother. Other Potomax
I'll excel and win a purse. Don't get mad, don't lose your shirt, but non-effective is your curse. Many people aim to hurt when I only came to heal. Learn as much as I can and pass it down and keep it real. I'm an overachiever, on my way to the top, full steam, waving by as I dodge all the non-believers. I'm eager, and so I set my targets high. Every day won't stop till I reach that spot. I don't follow the leader. I'm eager, I'm an overachiever. My bad, for your plans for total domination. Wrong plane, wrong dimensions. This is a sticky situation. Anywho, are you ready? Your demise is at its doom. As I leave you coughing clouds of dust that came up off my shoes. Want me slow down? You should catch up, cause you holding all the tools. So I can take them on a bump for you and show you what to do. From the top, call me doctor in the arts. And my specialty is war. May I said it once before, I'm the best you never saw. They keep on fighting, trying to hide me, but my plushness still seeps. And the company they keep says the man is for that heat. Just so happens that I reek. Can you smell it? Catch a whiff. Determination's what I leak. Do you hear it when I speak? This is why they call me beast, cause I mean just what I speak. And I speak what I live, and I love what I do. Nah, heads, green, dreadlocks, giving them the blues, cause they hate to hear the truth. Rather party than recruit. So my target is the youth to reconstruct and restitute.
Okay, so that's another song based on her own personal identity. I Am Beast. That's Beast's last name, her artist's last name, and you know, she's clearly bent on world domination, but at least she's upfront about it. This next song is called "The Yes Man." Let's see what that's about.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to the art of head nodding.
Right, so immediately this song becomes another social critique. People who just say yes to everything and are easy are people pleasers to an unfortunate degree.
Dome nodding, that is. It's quite simple.
Chiefs instead of head nodders. All you gotta do is nod your head.
The dome start to nod like the yes man.
This thinking hoe came with your dome like this bitch had. It's so contagious, pass it down onto the next man.
I got his dome and then he nods like the yes man.
The dome starts to nod like the yes man. And if you take another look, you see the next man. It's so contagious, pass it down onto the next man.
I got his dome and then he nods like the yes man.
The dome starts to nod back and forth, up and down as I walk across these streets with a furious frown. Well, you could say that this is just another headbanger, the bomb shit, and that's exactly why your head's shanking. To get wit, got you feeling for my next line. Forget this, pass the dirt so I can get mine. Feeling fine now, I think it's time to spin shit. Wind me up and let me go, cause I'm a ill bitch. Niggas, what can you do for the mo-mo? Take it back and then release and let your head go. Do it again, start the check like the yes man. Now it begins as it creeps on to the next man. He's feeling it, it ain't hard to make your shit dance. Be real with it, follow your dome, but please don't go fast. Give me that dome and I can rock it like no bitch can. Spread it around and that ain't hard across the whole land. Because the dome starts to nod like the yes bitch. And if you take another look, you see the next bitch. It's so contagious, pass it down onto the next bitch. I got her dome and then she nods like the yes bitch. The dome starts to nod like the yes bitch. And if you take another look, you see the next bitch. It's so contagious, pass it down onto the next bitch. I got her dome and then she nods like the yes bitch. I got her dome and then she nodding like the yes bitch. She started shaking, then she's thinking what a foul itch. She started shaking, then she passed it to the next bitch. She started digging, but she never seems to find shit. It's tingling and all the fins begin to throat scratch. Just wondering what happened to they fucking head patch. I smile at them and they respond for where they smile back. The crowd blends, I got they dome and it's a known fact. All the ladies hit the mug and room the mad face. Like it was cloudy, where's the bug, cause it's a sad day. Flip the finger, fuck them all, do what
what your head say. Looking meaner than you, boy, don't give them no play. What was the cost? Could it be simple as the yes man? Would all the freaks start the frontin' like they understand? All the bitches in my house will hit the head nod. If you ain't with it, roll on out, no time for fake bras. Because it don't start to nod like the yes man. Them stinky hoes can't move your dome like this bitch can. It's so contagious, pass it down on to the next man. I got it dome in there, he nods like a yes man. The dome starts to nod like the yes bitch. And if you take another look, you see the next bitch. It's so contagious, pass it down on to the next bitch. I got her dome in there, she nods like the yes bitch. Well, everybody wants to nod like the yes man. What you say, doesn't matter, have another plan. Just pick a day that we can all nod together. Be ya Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whenever we can make a whole day out of nodding. You see, that's exactly how the wave had got started. One head did a tilt, and then it snatched back. Then this man felt the chill, like he was on crack. Then they took it down until the crowd joined in. The crowd liked the party, so they took it to some friends. The friends liked the party, so they took it to the block. Even though the babies felt the motion of the head rock. And the old people, well, they did it kinda slow. Although their bones was weak, they nod their head as the wind blows. Don't you wanna be a part of the plan? Just keep your head moving, everybody do the yes man. The dome start to nod like the yes man. This stinky hoe came with your dome like this bitch can. It's so contagious, pass it down onto the next man. I got his dome in there, he nods like the yes man.
Don't really know what that song's about or what it's doing on the album. The only thing I can think of is it's kind of a sprightlier note, a more upbeat song on an album that so far at least has been, mostly hardcore and full of social critique and, personal identity references or explorations, let's say. I mean, the track's pretty dope, the song itself, but the lyrics don't really say anything that isn't said elsewhere on the album. So I just don't really know why it's on the album at all. But let's move on to the next track. It's called Steppin' With My Dude. Let's see what that's about.
Special tribute to my ladies. Vanity 6. Ty, pass me my glass. Drink with me.
Okay, so Steppin' With My Dude obviously is about her going out with her husband, Ty the Monster, who is now introduced on the album. He kind of introduced Moet in the first song, but now Ty is making his appearance. DC Ty the Monster, the other half of the Cruddy Crankers, the Crudnamic duo. Let's get back to it.
You wanna go out tonight? I know you do. I think it's time we show up to the party. Only now.
First couple on the southeast side. Ain't no party if we ain't on the same. Bad enough for doing Cruddy right. Ain't no other couple better than we. I think I'm feeling myself. Look this him and he tugging my dress. One more drink to the bar we go. Then we out the door, cause we ready for more. I can step up with my dude. Yeah, you know the guy. It's the beast and the monster. And we looking fly. Step up in the spot. Then we look hot. DJ announced that we came to rock. Get the crowd some love while we serving them crud. Roll some dubs and spark some buzz with my Cruddy green giant wrapped around my arm. Unbreakable bomb, so don't be alarmed. Might hear a couple oys that can bury bombs. Keep your tongue in check and you won't be harmed. Can't nobody do it like we do. Bright green dreads, much attitude. Post up in the party in the squad of two. Throw no shades while we turning them blue. Shake them booze, break the rules. You got your due, I got my due. First couple on the southeast side. Ain't no party if we ain't on the same. Bad enough for doing Cruddy right. Ain't no other couple better than we. I think I'm feeling myself. Look this him and he tugging my dress. One more drink to the bar we go. Then we out the door, cause we ready for more. To the flow, lady, step aside. Cause me and my man about to set this right. I don't know what y'all doing, but my hips don't swing. My thighs look yummy, how I got this ring. He fine as hell, I'ma rub his chest. Turn around, drop it low, let me show him who's best. I should climb the street, but that's a private show. So when we leave this spot, I'm gonna give him some more and make another grab his big old thighs. Then take these juicy hips and have them hypnotized. Don't let me get the work and everything in between. Cause every hook with life, do you know what I mean? He can put my head cause it won't come off. Smack me on my ass cause it's real and soft. Pretty brown, shorty down. Me and my dude going round for round. Ow. First couple on the southeast side. Ain't no party if we ain't on the same. Bad enough for doing Cruddy right. Ain't no other couple better than we. I think I'm feeling myself. Look this him and he tugging my dress. One more drink to the bar we go. Then we out the door, cause we ready for more.
Every time she put her heels on, my pants get tighter. I'm on water sound of damn if I don't love me some fire. Sexy green hair, sun-star, thick copper rhymer that loves to pique my interest and feed my desires. When we step outside, check the attire, crud, we're everywhere. We the sellers, you a buyer, partying on the floor, I still playing the advertiser. First couple of selfies and ain't none prior. I love the way she signs me up with no ruler. The glow that she got you can't get from no jeweler. It's a whole lot of frauds that claim to be the ruler. I'm with the gutter godmother, ain't none truer. Now got some made up talkers, more beautiful doer. And what she doing on this dance floor is why I love to do her. I love stepping out with the beast to watch her do her. Because she left to do me and all I do is do her.
First couple on the southeast side. Ain't no party if we ain't on the same. Bad enough for doing Cruddy right. Ain't no other couple better than we. I think I'm feeling myself. Look this him and he tugging my dress. One more drink to the bar we go. Then we out the door, cause we ready for more.
Yeah, wow, that song is more than self-obsessed. It's downright vain, but I really like that song, and I think it has an important place on the album, and it says some very important things. Um, it's a song about going out with her husband, so that's an important part of her identity. There are a few studies on human memory, and these theories are that males will often remember the past based on events. So they'll remember that day they hit the home run or what have you. Whereas females, alternatively, will often remember the past based on relationships. So they use certain relationships as landmarks in their memory. So really, this song, in my analysis, is not at all about going to the bar with or without her husband. It's about Beast as she remembers this current moment based on this ongoing relationship. So, all right, we're going to take a brief break from the Lyricists Watch Hour. Be sure to stick around as we examine the really the second half. We're more than halfway through, but there's a lot of this album left. It's called It's Okay to Say Beast is the name of the album. It's by Lady Moet Beast. You are tuned into the Lyricists Watch Hour. You can catch us every Mondays and Sundays at 7 p.m. All right, we'll be right back. Yes. Welcome back to what is turning into be one of the great Lyricist Watch Hour episodes. Let's just say it's not entirely due to my astute analysis, but has much more to do with the material I'm analyzing. If you are just tuning into the Lyricist Watch Hour, we're examining the artist Lady Moet Beast and her first solo record, It's Okay to Say Beast is the name of the album. We've been talking about identity in this album. We've been talking about the names that she adopts. We've been talking about social critique. This next track certainly falls into that category of social critique, and it's also very harsh social critique. And it's also a bit of advice, and it also has to do with the identity of living in the hood. And I'll say this, it really says some interesting things that I've never noticed being said before, either on albums, in music, or in books, for that matter. Let's see what it has to say. Next track is called Stop Bullshitting. Hit it.
This is a public service announcement for you talkative ass bastards that call yourself rappers. Y'all gonna stop snitching and shit. Getting the fuck out the hood, getting your money, but you're still telling on the block she used to be on, fucking everybody else's money up.
Well, there you have it from the voice of Monster himself. Stop snitching has certainly been said before. Getting out the hood with your money has certainly been said before. But what's interesting that he's saying right now is when you're rapping and being talkative and snitching on stage, you're fucking everybody else's money up in the hood. I've never heard that said before anywhere, except from the voice of the Monster and the Beast. Let's get back to it.
You need to shut the fuck up when somebody slap the shit out your ass. Matter of fact, fuck that. Slander lays for everybody. Talk to him, baby.
All the short flapping, what the hell happened? Everybody turn snitches, yet they calling that rapping. Make me wanna jack them, maybe bitch slap them. Applaud motherfuckers for the streets is just ratting. Fucking up the block and bringing heat, steady tatting. When they ain't slinging shit, but so bars and they laughing. I don't think it's funny, and niggas losing spots and fucking up the pots. You fucking up a lot, you ain't fucking with my life. And you ain't seeing keys, you ain't flipping bricks. You getting all the youngest hype, they wanna split your shit. You think you making hits, well compiling all your hits, that's gonna get your ass hit. Got a box waiting for you cause you got that ass kiss. You done took your last hit, now that ass is dismissed. Kingpin in the playpen status. Box your ass in Oakwood, yo, you just don't matter. You glorify a struggle and that's why niggas hustle. You airways eating for me, got them out to use their muscles, and then they looking for you, Mr. Radio Radar. Don't make superstar shine way from afar. Been a shitty and congested ass joker. I'm about to grab my poker and then I microscope ya. And since you wanna tell so much, I'm whipping out your tongue. Let's see how you can talk when all your waist can do is hum.
It's time to tell your whores how it is. Stop snitching, stop telling, stop welling and shit. Cause you bitches don't know what it is to show loyalty, honor, or respect on the rip. Stop bullshit, stop fucking the block up, running around telling on the motherfucker. Stop bullshit, and what you fucking your block for? Enough money for everybody, motherfucker.
Say you ain't snitching, filthy stool pigeon. Flesh around your mandible and never stops twitching. Claim that you the boss and all your peeps got big dealers. Telling all the business, now the block has best feelings. Details to our own body, some cases now they hiding. You done told them everybody, you beaming up Scotty, and they taking up your mama's house, laying on the people's down. Real town, man, they think you are a clown, murder mania. You all over the media, you need a media. Broadcast the bodies out like you the one to clean them, Slim. File filled with secrecy, leaving trails of evidence. You don't think it's relevant, you work before the friends, my friend. Trading stand for a booth, the judge for a tip. Let them run down the list, tell us everything we miss. Let the listeners be the jury, now you climbing up the charts. But the homies full of fury and the target is your heart. Fuck a wide tap, dumbasses drill maps. You feeling in the gas, I think it's time you take a nap. Niggas selling stories, they dramatizing homies. That's why I ain't got no homies, I'm a rider on my lonely. You got 51 bodies, my hammers and 20 clips. 4 grenades, packing C4 and silence to shoot a shit. Make a movie from your version and the box office was slip. Run the memoirs of a bitch that became a fucking snitch.
See, it's time to tell your whores how it is. Stop snitching, stop telling, stop welling and shit. Cause you bitches don't know what it is to show loyalty, honor, or respect on the rip. Stop bullshit, stop fucking the block up, running around telling on the motherfucker. Stop bullshit, and what you fucking your block for? Enough money for everybody, motherfucker.
See, it don't make no damn sense that I gotta come in the booth and be Mama Mo again and shit. I know y'all mama told y'all to stop running y'all fucking mouth. Y'all talk too goddamn much. Let the block stay where the block at. Damn. Y'all gotta tell everything. Y'all got big guns. You moving big weight. You doing this and that. Shut the fuck up and stop telling all the goddamn time. Shit. Snitches get stitches, bitch.
Damn, that's a hardcore song. It's hood as fuck. It's badass. And it says something entirely new. Let's continue with the social critique on this album by Lady Moet Beast. It's okay to say Beast. The next track is Artificial. I bet you can guess what that's going to critique socially. You are tuned into the Lyricists Watch Hour.
It's some stuff I done seen, y'all. It just don't sit right with me, you know what I'm saying? People be like, you can't really speak out. What happened to freedom of speech? And here we trust. I live in the land of the slaughter of your daughter cause he caught her. Trademarked, demoralized, sold and bought her. Wiped out all of her memories and replaced them with fictionary. Exposed her assets and tallied up like missionaries. Divided her by the shade, shape, and vocabulary. Multiplied her many times, made many bloodlines born and buried. Baptized in the name of freedom and free will. Tricked, trapped, and transformed to open doors for green fields. Yet I remain still. Ads flicker and flash of the next top me or who I should be. Glamour me into my destiny. Coat my face in the essence of lost creatures who made this mass possible. Line my eyes to mark and signal that I am ready for this mission impossible. that needs shades of color and elongated lashes to die for. Influence my eyes to believe that contacts in any color are something to go blind for. Give me the blonde effect. Label me with ingredients of contaminated spices and stale duplications of my avatar as she covers me so I won't reject. You say I need highlights, so the sarcastic beast in me says give it to the earth and choose green, because jealous are the friends that betray to be clean, when in reality they're mean and full of hatred of the real me. Give me an idol to worship, because I have this permanent life-scribe woman imprinted in my cranium, soaked into my membrane, whose breasts are voluptuous, legs are to die for, with twerkable gluteus maximus, small feet all wrapped into a Coke bottle frame. And they wonder why women are considered insane. Why should I alter or change what the Creator has already perfected, only to be rejected by man and denied by my own identity? Why should I be ashamed or feel empty? You may call it pleasing to the eye. I call it just a disguise, because what you are telling these babies is that you can't be yourself. Don't stand out, don't even try, just come and join this lie. Welcome to the world of make-believe, where you can be anyone you want to be, so long as your soul is ours to keep. And here we trust with inflatable busts, pre-manufactured to attach to the cups, where queens are not allowed and simplicity is not the style. What happened to the old natural? Why can't I just be plain old me? The girl behind the mask, you see. Headstrong, eager, eclectic, diverse, well-versed with the ability to lead with my backpack, no purse. I play in the dirt, I build, I converse and communicate to capacities off the fly or rehearsed. I've never been fake, cause fake ain't official. So wipe off your mask, let me help you. Here's a tissue.
Yeah, I thought that was very well said. You really gotta, if you're delving into social critique, you really gotta criticize the artificial nature of beauty. And you know, it's another part of Moet Beast's identity as a woman. You know, she is the au naturel. She is the simplicity. The next song continues this motif, this theme of womanhood. The name of the song is Like My Mama, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that Moet's mama might like disco music, because this beat is disco as fuck.
Mama, you know I love you, honey.
Girl, you know you my number one.
Gonna be just like my mama, independent, smart and strong, and aggressive. Yeah, I'm just like my mama, true to her heart, helpful to others, and impressive. Yeah, I'm just like my mama.
Little dog always wear the frown, but on the inside I'm a goddamn clown. On joke time when I'm supposed to know how to act by now. Clear hugs the boat. I'm bold, I'm blunt, straight up, yep, I don't front. No, you dainty, you ain't me. I give them what they want. I'm sassy, I'm cute, I look good in a suit. I'm bright, I'm brave, I've even got some shades. I'm crafty, courageous, I do quite well on stages. I'm different, unique, I live just on
Gonna be just like my mama, independent, smart and strong, and aggressive. Yeah, I'm just like my mama, true to her heart, helpful to others, and impressive. Yeah, I'm just like my
When I'm on money,
mama.
I bullshit. When I'm serious, you can't say quit. I got great size, so handle it. I'm the mother over everything and under a bit. I got books, funk, and street sense. Still play tackle, I can climb a fence. Put me in the dress over top my shorts, so when she put me right back, now I'm on the porch. I still look up to my she-ro, killing egos. Don't tell her much, she my hero. Mama coming after her zero. Don't read up, well she knows. I tried many times to fill those shoes, but no one feels it. belong to you, my goddess, my ride or die.
Wanna be just like my mama, independent, smart and strong, and aggressive. Yeah, I'm just like my mama, true to her heart, helpful to others, and impressive. Yeah, I'm just like my mama.
Yeah, great track, great song, great message. Says everything it needs to say without explanation. Now we have a track called Monica Rambeau, which is kind of the coolest idea for a song ever. Monica Rambeau is a comic book hero, the secret identity of Miss Marvel, also known as Captain Marvel. She inherited the captainhood when the male captain died. Male Captain Marvel died. But Miss Marvel basically has the same powers as Superman. And Monica Rambeau must like funk music, because this beat is funky as fuck.
You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my bumps like a Monica Rambeau.
Wait, did you understand anything she just said? All I really got out of that was the words rumble, gamble, and I'm Monica Rambeau. So that means Moet Beast is in full god complex mode. She's identifying with a superwoman with phenomenal cosmic powers. But this track really does have the worst enunciation on the whole album. It doesn't overly matter. The concept is clear, and there are a ton of comic book references and other superhero references from TV and movies. So I like the song, I just don't really understand the words that are coming out of her mouth.
You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my pumps like a Monica Rambeau. I be down in the alley, cross the Potomac swamp. Shin Check City where there was no wrong. Did a service to the public on the government side. Blue collar servant kept the city alive. Hard worker, risk taker, put my life on the line. Shutting down villains at the drop of a dime. And one day I caught waves like a gamma ray. Birds got stronger and my captain's prey. Didn't like my hair or my new attitude. Had beef with my brawn stronger than most dudes. Mouthpiece won't close, stand out on best. No joker in the universe will want this rap. Alpha level superhuman, I command respect. Threw my badge on the desk, then demand my check. Before I stepped out the door, not even breaking a sweat. The super phone started ringing, said they want this back. You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my bumps like a Monica Rambeau. You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my pumps like a Monica Rambeau. It ain't been 6 weeks and they love these cheats. Put me in charge, say they like my speech. Big fans of my charge and the heights I've reached. Promoting me to leader cause it's hard to teach.
Phenomenal cosmic powers. Teaching word.
Investigate my mega sample, my proton. Redevelop, I transform again into photon. Every time you think you got it and despite who you are, I transform again to energy and change the pulsar. Beyond compared battle, many sent them back where they came from. Energy on flash, you can't get on my spectrum. Don't call me a shiro, cause I'm nobody's hero. Tolerance to BS and my stress level zero. My fight is for just us, who ain't getting justice. Watch out for my power up, examples of me pissed. Angry dog wanna feed your face with my 2 fists. Anti-registration rounding up my resistance. You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my bumps like a Monica Rambeau. You wanna run with me? I don't even gamble. Switch up on my pumps like a Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, actually. Tons of comic book references. Promoting me to leader because it's hard to teach. Word. The next song is Rolling Through the South Side. We are running out of time on the Lyricists Watch Hour, so we're going to run straight through this very, very hood song. It's total hood music. It is, however, a hood music with an important message. It's critiquing gentrification. That much is obvious as you listen to the lyrics. So after that, we're going to roll right on into the next track, Battle on the Potomac. And that one we're going to dissect in great detail. So this first track is Rollin' Through the South Side. It's off Lady Moet Beast's album, It's Okay to Say Beast. You are tuned in to the Lyricists Watch Hour. Catch us every Monday and Sunday at 7 p.m.
Well, it's another sunny day in the knocker stomp, and the beast and the monster on their way across to the east of the river. Sad, really, when you ride through town. So many unnecessary erect trophies that have nothing to do with the people who the land belong to. Well, still rolling through the south side.
Right across the bridge by the big jail, cruising through the city and club. Ain't no smiles where it ain't fair. Tight space with everybody with muds while we rolling, rolling through the south side. War, they ain't straight. War 7's no better. East of the river, coming for a shutter. We ain't cheesing while the rats on the hill, eating like hogs while our peoples get killed. Setting up shop with a new coffee spot in the middle of the block, trying to build your spot. We can't buy cause the bank gon' deny, and they only want the lease and the rent sky high. So my peoples don't try, can't buy up the trap, so they plot stay vacant till it burns or collapse. Their plans get greased by a big company with developmental plans that don't include me. Reconstruct, redevelop, swap the people that you see. No more chocolate substitute with cream. Chase the whole identity of the knocker stomp tribe. Replace every village with a new high ride. Right across the bridge by the big jail, cruising through the city and club. Ain't no smiles where it ain't fair. Tight space with everybody with muds while we rolling, rolling through the south side. We got new fields, but they withdrew books, and they wonder why the students have a blank stare look. A&C plead that the council sends relief, and they let them say they speech, then they tell them have a seat. Take ideas off the table, then the council's been breached. The interest ain't our own, and they won't let us speak. They taking our homes, say we can't keep the peace. The people still struggle, cause it's hard in these streets. For the wreck and the pool, but it ain't for our kids. As soon as it open, they tore down where we live. City claims the main, make us all disappear. Make $1 million homes in the next 10 years. While a tribe gets scattered, we all shed tears. Repeat the same cycle every 100 damn years. Should we still ask or start kicking ass? Cause the civilized living is a thing of the past. Hey, Moonstar.
What's up?
What's that over there right there?
Ritual.
Nah, look. Come on, let's walk up on this hill real quick.
Yeah, so that's a really cool introduction. They're walking up on a hill, and they're checking out this scene. Notice that she addresses her husband as Monstar. That's also pretty cool. Back to the track.
See? Right there? With them sheets in the water? Floating across? Oh, nah, we about to scope that out. I've been scouting with my trauma.
All right, so she's already claimed indigenous status with the word tomahawk. This has been an important theme since the first track, and this is clearly what this song, "Battle on the Potomac," is about. So let's examine this further in detail.
Been scoping out my land, sent the look up for intruders, then report back to my clan. If I find out any clues, smoke the signal on demand. Go and gather up my crews with the mama in command.
That's a reference to a matriarchal society.
With turtle power, as she pumps it in her hand. Roars and mighty thunders like she's striking up the bank. Turn your dream into a nightmare, make you flee my continent. Sail your ships back across the waters, you can't come up on my sand.
Now she's addressing European invaders. Send your ships back across the water. You can't come up on my sand.
Arrow shop and roll the cop. Ain't right at you if you got. Come no closer or your nobles gonna find you in the box. Send a message to your troops that those savages don't stop. In the top of the south, at the ready, we gon' rock. This ain't Plymouth, you done messed around and crossed the knock and stop. We don't care about what no papers say, we ain't part of your flock.
Okay, so paper would reference some sort of legal decree, and she says we're not part of your flock. So this decree would it would indicate some sort of incorporation of her people into this European colonization, which she is denying.
You've been granted invitation to this stunning Molly Wop.
So she's referencing a counter history to what we've been told, whereby the indigenous population invited the Europeans to be a part of their culture, as opposed to the Europeans doing so.
How we handle all invaders on crusades, we know your plot. We don't understand surrender, there's no need for no defeat. Cause no matter once you cross the line, we coming for your seat. Won't be stealing our plantations, cause we'll burn out every crop. And the war will be defeated, you won't claim us as your stop. You ain't welcome at our markets, we don't trade with dirty ops. Keep your infection, see the chaos, do not enter past this spot. You a toker, you ain't kin, you a joker, you ain't friend. Burn your gunpowder.
Right, so there's a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel, in which the author of the textbook says the main reasons the indigenous populations of the Western Hemisphere were conquered were because the Europeans had guns, and they came with germs like malaria, which the indigenous were not inoculated to, and also the Europeans had steel weapons, whereas the indigenous weapons were mostly made of wood and stone and feathers.
Sink you come to dismantle our plan. All the fish upon this water, we won't share none of our crops. Should've stayed where you belong, cause we won't feed you, you gon' rot. Barricade you in close quarters, stake directly through the heart. Start a fire in your honor, sing a song before we start. Commence the sentence. On sight you self-destruct with a side of cruddy right. We'll be mashing in your guts. Send your scalp back to our elders, cast a spell of no return. As we dance around the toka, watching motherfuckers burn.
Badass. That is a badass track. It was called Battle on the Potomac. There are only 2 left, so let's rush right into the next one. You know. Cue rock music.
Tired of hearing all this garbage out here. All your little heroes and sheroes and shit.
Yeah, heroes and sheroes. That's a cool little turn of phrase. But didn't she just compare herself to Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau?
I bring her back the road, bitch. I got a purse full of pants for all you bleeding ass niggas. A couple tampons for all you leaking ass niggas. A couple panty liners for you reeking ass niggas.
Panty liners for you reeking ass nymphos. That is just funny.
You know some of y'all need them. You know some of y'all need them. Some of you overnight is much needed. You sport the pants and deep. I do intend to banish a few of them. This rap game I defend. When nipples go bad attention and never to lay it down. This mic hangs in suspension. They always forget to mention my name. But it don't matter if fuck. Make niggas splatter, fall out. And then they shatter. Go by any face to tag around me. There's no one better. My strength make niggas shatter with envy. And now they mad at the baby. My ass is better. My titties, my freaks, I'm baby. My belly, a little smaller. Would you listen to a nigga? Would you give me your support without looking to drop some speed? Or you're looking to slay some meat? I'm just me about what I speak. And it's time for getting heat. See them left up to their feet. Get them out with I'm a beast. Wicked bitch from South Beach. Sit your ass down, bitches. What's the lesson that I teach? You can call me Roller Soldier, cause I never spill the beat. I ain't even in my piece, so you can put this in your teeth. Cause your bullets is the breeze. She's a greater than the lead. I ain't seen so many monsters incorporated. Everybody's up these name, but we gon' see about that later. All I'm seeing is fucking clowns. Claim to say they don't wanna rap, but my game was never lost. So when the fuck they do that, when get my casket get booked. Who hammered the last bill? Where they at? I'm looking for them, cause you never can tell. With all these jokers running around, even the weakest shit fail. No need for talking so detailed. Everybody selling tails. No wonder why y'all mad at me. Biggest draw from all these seats. I ain't from the DMV, I come from the district. Cruddy be my city of Columbia, we hit bitch. Balls on the hill, don't give me nothing, I ain't rich. Just a common city dweller.
dollar looking for the mega flip. Grab my family and split. Fuck the deuces and that's it. And I'm never gonna quit till I draw my last breath. That's my lyrics down the line and let my kiddies grow the wealth. So for now you call me Robin Hood. So easy to be London. Putting bands on rockets, rappers with no message, y'all suspended. What's so kindergarten that a 2-year-old commitment? Verse with 13 words and it goes platinum. Why you kidding? I can file a lawsuit. Go after the FCC, rap police, Laura Bush, MTV, BET, VH1, PGC, 106, 93. Why y'all losing all this ignorance? Cut off your TV. Your HD favorite cakes that you know what's at stake. Every boy you had was skinny jeans about to holler break. While that girls are getting people claiming nothing was in change. All you bitches are insane, and it's never gonna change. You got too much on your plate, try to swallow, now you choking. Smoking mirrors blowing, the food is taking over. The dummies are on top, and this ain't never gonna stop till we put our foot down, picking sides, stop the march. Call a protest, I confess me instigating. They say that we the best, I say niggas stop the faking. When will all the real MCs hit the map? When rappers is the passion, not a fashion, that's a fact. When lyrics come from topics, not from busting many cats. Hustlers to talk about the place you saying that. When ice and board and trains and put a free picture that. When chains will symbolize that you done made it in a rap. When bitches getting recognized even if they fat. When silicone don't symbolize it's where I measure at. Y'all don't hear me though, all y'all hearing is the beat. My lyrics say a lot, but the baseline is the beat. Should've gave you baby bites, baby fed you to a straw. Cause you just got a mouthful, try to side your jaws. Like niggas wearing saggy jeans, pulling up their drawers. Cause lying is after you, whipping out my claws. Yeah, I know, check me out, I'm the best you never saw. Not a lover like me bringing this, bring it back to raw. I said I wasn't glitzy cause I'm on my grown woman. Always give it to you, you can never catch me snubbing. See, there's no time for humble, but for now I'm on my pushy. Bitches getting mushy, niggas sounding pussy. Why y'all do this to me? I ain't hanging up my gloves. See, I'ma keep on cranking if you never show me love. If you never copy this, I'ma still be on my shit. I don't do this for the breakers, I'ma always be a hit. If you never say my name, where the history won't change. You may never find my lyrics printed in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter what you play, I'm the Lady Moet Beast. I got Tylenol for bitches, cause it's time for some relief.
Damn, that's over 4 minutes of bars. That's a lot of vitriol. There is one song left, so I'm going to take this time to make a few final comments before we roll into that song. We've talked about, on this episode of the Lyricists Watch Hour, we've been focusing on It's Okay to Say Beast, which is an album by Lady Moet Beast. And we've talked about personal identity. We've talked about community identity. We've talked about Beast's voice, her voice as a woman and as melanated and as indigenous. We've talked about social critique. That's a lot to pack into an album, but one subject that is addressed on this album that I haven't fully expounded upon would be names and naming and the power of naming. The power of naming oneself. But really all I have are questions, and that is how learning and then knowledge happens, asking the right question. So what makes a name? What turns a simple word into a name? How many names does Beast adopt on this album alone? I count many, including the artist's name, which is Lady Moet Beast. She claims Lady Mo. She claims the Beast from Southeast. Then simply Beast. Gutter Godmother, Monica Rambeau. And she's going to soon address herself as the Candy Lady. But really most importantly of all, what happens when you reclaim a name? What happens when you change your given name and name yourself? So all of these are questions I will leave unanswered. Now, at the top of the show, I mentioned Beast's name in the same breath as the Nobel Prize for Literature. That's a $1.5 million prize. So if Beast wants that money and the recognition that comes with it, she needs to keep up this level of high literature in her lyrical material. She needs to keep producing albums like this one, keep focusing on these themes, and she needs to evolve these themes in new directions. Now, the committee that chooses the laureates for literature are quite interested in disenfranchised voices, underrepresented voices. However, the material on this album, It's Okay to Say Beast, is very, very radical. It overturns the widely accepted histories, the knowledge we are told to believe. This album might be far too radical for the committee. So regardless of its quality, regardless of its certainly underrepresented voice, its voice of a melanated woman who claims indigenous identity, this album might be dismissed. But that really, really doesn't matter because it's a truly great album in my opinion. I can't wait to see what else she's going to drop in the rest of her career. And at any rate, this last song of the album is called Candy Lady. It's truly one of the most badass songs that has ever existed, so I'm not going to interrupt it at all. In fact, I'm going to let it close out the show. It is a song about her own personal identity, complementing the songs Lady Mo and Beast from Southeast and I Am Beast. So let me say now, you have been tuned into the Lyricists Watch Hour. My name is Paul Reeves. I am Lyricists Watch. Be sure to catch us every Monday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Our next show will be in March. Our next new content will be in March, and that will address the new release from DC Ty the Monster, another excellent album from Drastic Measures Records. That one's called 1111. This song, however, it's called Candy Lady. We've been listening to Lady Moet Beast, her first solo release, It's Okay to Say Beast.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Lady Moet Beast and the Cruddy Symphony Orchestra.
Not one of you can see me. Not one of you can Special dedication going out to all my gobblers and holders. I'd like to present this award and accept this award for being myself. I ain't never changed.